Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland and today I'm making a layout for Shimmerz Paints. So I wanted to make a really lovely white background and some very soft colours in shades of pink and blue. So I have chosen a few colours of Inklingz to work with today, and I have started off with my white background, which is marshmallow cardstock, and then I'm just putting a border on it. It felt a little bit too stark having no border at all, so I have gone for a pretty little studio print that has some text on it. It does have some other colours on it, but they're very pale and pretty and subtle, so it worked well for a border. And I say you can't see much of it because it's just a border. So I gutted the middle of that piece of cardstock, so paper even, and I've cut my white cardstock down a bit to about 11.5 inches. And then I've distressed the edges and stuck it to my background. So then I'm ready to create my mixed media bits and pieces. So I have got 4 colours there. They are Angel's Kiss, which is the really pale one. Then I have Peekaboo. I have a rose. It's called a rose, and then in brackets by any other name, and then the blue one is called Frosty Buns. So I have those 4 colours, and that's what I'm planning to use for my background. But in the end I needed to slightly change the colour of the blue, so I put a small amount of a dark green in there as well to mix the colour with, and that's called the holly and the ivy. So okay, I wanted to create a very soft, lovely layout, full of love and kind of maybe a bit of a wintry feel, but not specifically winter themed. It was more like soft and subtle. So I have this lovely photo that's a professional photo, so it has a beautiful white background of my very close friends, and I have just mounted that photo on a scrap of blue paper, and then I've mounted on a larger piece of the same print that was on the border, and I've also added some vellum in there too, so I'm looking for this whole soft feel, so the vellum works really well there. So I'm starting with my lightest colour, and I say it's called Angel's Kiss. It's an Inklingz, and it's very pale pink. It's almost like a frosty pink. It has it's like a cool shade of pink, so I'm just going in with that one, and I put quite a big sweep up the page. So I'm planning to have my photo down the bottom with my title over on the right hand side. I've got the perspective at the top there by Bramble Fox that says family. So I just added the light pink, and I added that in quite a large area. Then I've come in with the next shade, which is Peekaboo, which is quite a light shade of pink as well, but darker than the Angel's Kiss. I've just added that in a few different areas as well, and now I'm adding some of the blue as well. So I think I wasn't quite sure on the colour, so therefore that's why I've added a tiny bit of green to make it more of a minty colour, rather than the frosty blue that it was. So just added a tiny bit of the holly and the ivy Inklingz as well to add to that colour, so it's a nice little mixture there. I'm just going back now to add some splatters, so I'm pretty happy with how my mixed media is looking, and I just wanted to extend it slightly by adding some splatters. So I'm using the same colours that I've just used, and I'm just adding splatters with a paintbrush. So I'm putting a bit of paint onto packaging, and then adding some water and picking up with a paintbrush and splattering that way. So that is pretty much my background done, and I'm just going to leave those there in case I need to come back and use them again. So here's my photo roughly placed in the right area, and then the word family is going over on the right hand side. Then I've got this journaling card. It's by Jen Hadfield. I can't remember the name of the collection actually, but it's the latest Jen Hadfield one, and it says "Let the adventure begin." So that's very appropriate for this photo and story. So I've just cut that. It was on one piece, but I cut it so that I could arrange it better, or arrange it in a way that works for me. And because this is a layout about family. These little houses really spoke to me. I wanted to use those. A lot of the family stuff is based around your home, of course, so I wanted to include some houses, and the black and white thing went really well with this layout because it didn't introduce any other colours when I wanted to keep everything very soft. Let the Adventure Begin is a navy blue, or a deep teal more like, and that works well. It's a really good sentiment for this family, so I wanted that to stand out, so I was happy with that deep blue colour. So I'm just getting everything stuck down, so those paper layers there just needed to be stuck in place. I'm actually committed to putting those in place now. So there is my photo layers done, and then I can add my title as well. I'm happy with how the placement of the layout is looking. I love the big spray of mixed media coming up from above the photo and going into the main part of the layout. It's unusual for me to do mixed media that's on show, so normally I do mixed media and then I put a whole bunch of stuff on top of it. Now I will put a whole bunch of stuff at the bottom, but I'm going to leave that big area at the top showing. It's so subtle and soft that it looks really nice. Sometimes I find that mixed media can not look that great. It looks great when it's behind something, as in it's just poking out from the sides, but sometimes if I have a large area of mixed media I think, oh, it looks a bit messy. But on this occasion, because of the colours and the softness, it actually looks really nice. I'm very happy with the way that it looks. So just adding in the word finally above family. Actually, I don't really like the colour, so it's their Pinkfresh little letters, and I've picked out all the different. They come with like lots of different shades on the same sheet, so I'm not really happy with the overall look of that word finally. It's all different shades, and I'm not overly happy with it, so I will change that at some point to some blue letters. Just sticking my houses in place now. So I added a little label to the left of the photo. And now just adding in my houses in little clusters. I'm trying to stick them flat at the bottom and then raise them up on foam pads at the top to give them a bit of dimension. Yeah, this is the point where I decide that I need to find some other alphas, but then got distracted by these Pinkfresh stickers. These are the chipboard Pinkfresh Studio Office Hours, and that little camera was ideal. It was a little pinky colour that went well with some of the darker shades in the mixed media at the top there. So here I am getting rid of my finally word in those peachy tones, and then this is much better. The blue frosty colour goes much better. I'm much happier with how that looks. So just adding those in place instead. They are from an old Christmas collection, so from last year I think they might have come in a kit, and that was the perfect shade. So just adding some other stickers here. Some are from Dear Lizzy, She's Magic, some are from Pinkfresh Studio Office Hours, and that little banner on the left says One Day at a Time. I've added two little labels at the top there that says Joy and Life, so again they are very appropriate for this layout. I've just gone off and done a few rows of stitching, so I added some silver thread through the word finally. I added zigzags at the bottom of the photo, zigzags at the bottom of one of the houses, straight stitch underneath Let the Adventure Begin, and then also through the vellum at the top of the photo too. So I just wanted to bring in some subtle sparkles, and this silver thread that I use through my sewing machine is really good for that, so I wanted to bring that in as well. So I've done that on here, and I'm also going to add some twiddles of silver thread as well in a couple of places too to bring that in more as well. I'm just making sure that everything is stuck in place. Now my family perspective broke, unfortunately. I think my toddler got hold of it, and so it's lucky that it wasn't completely trashed. So I had to kind of fix it back together. So that's what I was doing there. I'm just adding in some heart perspectives as well, also by Bramble Fox. So I've got a blue one and a silver one as well. I've added in a little Shimmerz dots at the bottom. It says hi, which again goes pretty well with this photo. I'm happy with that. And then just coming in with some stickers from the Dear Lizzy She's Magic collection. So I've got the word family at the top. Oh, that actually might be from a different collection. And then just the little blue heart as well is from there. So I'm just adding in some enamel dots in the right shade, so blue ones mostly. I do add a couple of pink puffy dots here as well. I didn't have any enamel dots in that shade, so they were perfect. They were from Paige Evans. Right, so just coming in with my little twiddles now, so just putting some silver thread there behind the photo with the ends dangling down. And then I'm going to add another one over on the right hand side. So I didn't have any silver down there apart from the straight stitch under the word begin. So I felt that needed a little bit more silver in place as well. So I'm just going to poke that there under the house and the words let the adventure begin, just securing that with some tape, and completely trashed my house at the same time, so just having to move that out of the way and put that back in place and get my twiddles in a good position. So getting there, nearly done now. Just wanted to add this little cat. This family has a cat, so perfect little addition at the bottom of that photo as well. So I had to get Mika the cat in there as well. Okay, so that is the end of this layout. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed this slightly different style to me. Normally I wouldn't have so much mixed media on show, but I really love the way this turned out and the effect. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that if you place an order via the Shimmerz website, put my name in the comments to receive a freebie. Happy scrapping!